No show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, recants a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common Man, Common Man. Charge the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about...
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm pulling my tickets! I can't take this anymore.
Every game is big in my mind, regardless of when we play it. Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, Tuesday night. You know, every game is big, and, you know, especially where we're at right now. You know, from here on out, every game is a big game. So that's the way we approach it. You know, week in and week out is a big game.
Wow, what a great how to pick up chicks at the Rube Chat Party mind. Wow, what a great knowing what the marketing slogan should be before anyone even knows what the marketing slogan should be mind. Wow, what a great Woodbury Days Parade Celebrity Grand Marshal mind.
And Peyton Manning takes the knee for the third straight time, and that should do it, folks. The final score of Super Bowl 41, the Colts 29, the Bears 17, and look at the pandemonium from the Indianapolis sideline down here in Miami. Colts spilling onto the field. Oh, and there we go, the Gatorade bath for Coach Tony Dungy, and it's Mike Doss applying the Gatorade bath. Good to hear from Mike Doss tonight as the Colts are your Super Bowl 41 champions.
Let's play!
Okay.
Oh, a whole lot of characters. I just want to say, you doubted us, but now we're here.
Welcome back to the spotlight, young man.
I never left.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
Some of that's true. Some of that's the truth, the whole truth, or at least some semblance of the truth. So help me God, I'm a common man. He's 10 and B. This is the worst all-sports radio station in the country, according to a former employee who finally was fired from here. When he worked here, he loved the place. Then he was let go, and then he said, "I've listened to every sports radio station in the country, and KFAN is by far the worst." And yeah, I mean, at the time, I tended to agree with him. I was talking.
No lies detected.
I was talking to Greg Swedberg. I think most of our listeners know who Greg Swedberg is. We have no secrets. No secrets are hidden. Well, I have a couple of skeletons in my closet, but I'm going to leave them there. But Greg Swedberg he was here. He's been here longer than I have. He was here at the very beginning of the Fan in I think the Fan started in 91. Chad Hartman was the very first. Heir to the House of Sydney was the very first. Well, I don't think he was the very first that was hired. Maybe he's one of the first. At first, they did Sports Warp with Guy Green and. Did
you say Sports Warp?
Yeah, it was called Sports Warp. It was Guy Green and. I apologize. I should know. I do know. I just it's at the tip of my tongue. Maybe one of our listeners will help it. And then I got to get into. I didn't get into hip cricket yet. Gosh, it's bothering me now. Are you Googling Sports Warp to see if it even shows up? I mean, it was so long ago.
Yeah, it doesn't show up.
Yeah, it was so long ago. And then Barrero joined Hartman. Hartman extended an invitation. Barrero do the show with them. And Swedberg admits they made a mistake on the way they approached sports talk radio, because they were trying to do it like ESPN Sports Radio. Our morning shows, we didn't have a morning show per se, like, the Power Trip morning show. We had a lot of wacky hijinks and a lot of contributors and just so much fun. Never know. Our morning show back then didn't take over Treasure Island. You kidding me? We didn't do those kinds of things. It was basically...
We'd maybe broadcast from a Dairy Queen outside the Treasure Island.
That's exactly right, from the roof of it. The late Dan Culhane, who... when Tom Bernard first burst onto the scene, Dan Culhane was one of his morning show partners. And Dan Culhane worked here for a long time as well. And Dan Culhane was the first guy that he would do a 20-minute local sports block. It was like Sports Center, top of the hour, 7 o'clock. Twins last night, blah, 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 soundbite, highlight, then other scores. Then, wild, well, whatever, just in local sports. And then you would do 20 minutes of national sports, 20 minutes of local sports, and then start all over again, right? Hour after hour. And then, we would do updates at the top and bottom of every hour, breaking news as it happens. It was, literally, we would do sports updates, 3-minute updates at the top and the bottom of the hour. And it was just sports, hardcore sports. And he admits that was the wrong way to do it. Because that, especially now, because you can get your scores and your highlights anywhere.
Yeah.
Like baby brother Peter, he stopped watching NBA basketball. So all I do is get up in the morning, look at a highlight package that runs 2 or 3 minutes on Insta or Facebook, Face Off. And just look at that. You can see all the highlights and you're up to date, right? So then we started relying heavily on personality. And whether you like the personalities or not, that was the direction we decided to go, and the rest is history. We're one of the, get ready for the horn, the bugle, we're one of the most successful all sports talk radio stations in the country. So you can say we're bad, that's fine. Everybody's, the great thing about America is everybody's entitled to their opinion. And that's the great thing about America. So here we are today. I didn't hear it live, but I caught a little bit of it. Chad Abbott, the program director, showed me LaMelo Ball, his introductory news conference today. He was there along with Tim Connolly, Chris Finch. I don't know who there was a fourth person there. I don't know who that was. I don't know if it was a player, agent, I don't know. And then there was a moderator.
PR guy,
and then there was a moderator. And LaMelo Ball, it was almost as if, Tenneby, I don't know if you know, but like if you are in, you could ask John Kriesel this. I'm sure he would say this is a fact. When you're in the armed services, whether it's Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, military police, if you are captured by the enemy, it's name, rank, and serial number. So like 10 of you say, what are your plans? What is a battle plan? And you would just say, Dan Cole, private first class, serial number 671314. Smack me in the face. What are the plans? Dan Cole, private first class, 671314. And you were never doing anything but it. He was basically doing name, rank, and serial number. They asked him questions, and he just said, I've talked to them. I like him. We're going to have fun. That's why'd you come here? Well, I think it's like a pretty good team and like a lot of energy. He literally gave two-word answers. And that's okay, but it just he didn't
win the press conference.
No, he did. It's as if he really had no interest in being there. And, I get it. But
maybe he didn't want to be traded here.
Oh my gosh, that's possible.
Above average at that.
Abbott said I should look at hip cricket. He said because you know how it is, Tenneby, on these I think we talked about this. We talked about it the other day, and I know we've talked about it probably a number of different times, where on the message boards, you'll get the duckies and bunnies who love everything. They lap it all up, right? We're going to be really great. We have the best team ever. We're either going to be 13-4, or at worst, we're going to be 12-5. And they believe, they hashtag faith. The Paul Allens of the world. You just have faith in whatever ownership and management says. And then you have the people like me that they don't believe anything and they're expecting the worst, the negatives and the positives, right? But Abbott said that if you look at hip cricket, the people were there were a lot of the negatives were out, of course, wondering, does this guy even want to be here? But, again, at the end of the day, winning and losing press conferences, is it nice to win it? Yeah, but if you're winning on the court, no one's going to care if he ever says a word, right?
I think it was Ben Franklin who once said, actions speak louder than words.
Yes, it was Ben Franklin who said it. That's exactly who said it. Ben Franklin said, actions speak louder than words. And that's what I'm looking forward to as well. You always like a good quote, right? I mean, who doesn't like a good quote? You like players that always have, something funny to say, or even not funny, where they're not afraid to either criticize or compliment or whatever. They tell the truth, the whole truth, or some semblance of the truth. They wear their emotions on their sleeve, and they're likable people, and they produce for you, and you like them, right? And you like that they're honest and they're forthcoming. But you don't need to be that way. You can be the guy that says, I really got nothing to say, and then you do it out on the court or on the ice or on the diamond or the gridiron. So,
are people thrown off because on the court he, is creative, he's electric, so then you expect that personality out there, right? It. Like if you're just a 6'10" potato, who's just there to play defense and rebound, you're expected to have more of a dull personality.
Yeah, right.
But when you're the point guard who makes the cool passes and is orchestrating the offense, you're expected to have a great personality.
Well, now, my guess is he's got Insta, he's got Facebook, he's got Snapchat, he's got Twitter and the TikTok and all that. I'm assuming he has all that, and my guess there is when he kind of opens up and you get to see his personality. In a news conference setting, I can even understand you're there, and all of a sudden you got a bunch of reporters asking you questions that are really, so, you talked to Anthony? Well, yeah, I've talked to him, but we just said, hey, cool, I'll see you at training camp. What else was there to say? But it's officially he's here, and now we just wait for the arrival of LeBron James, if that indeed does happen. I'm all for it. I'm all in. If he wants to play here, I think it would add a lot of excitement to the Twin Cities and to Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll break. We'll come back. Let's peek at the purple. Other side of the break is brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. That's next. This is Tend to Be in the Common Man on the Common Man program on the Fan. Oh, we have a keyword too, I think, right? Brought to you by BigDeck.com.
Yeah, we do. The Fan and BigDeck.com. Want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword preset at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. The keyword is preset. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
The Common Man.
One guy who part of the appeal is we literally don't know.
Bonus Box is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Box is presented by BigDeck.com.
BigDeck.com. Get your deck on. I'm going to show you that I do show prep. I just generally don't do it till the show starts. Do we have any vibes that include concerts? Because if we do, I need to know that, then I can prep with I can go through my vast.
The next one.
Ooh, no, really? Okay. Because then I can go through the library is locked in my brain of the vast amount of songs that I know.
Yeah, it just looks like the next one.
Okay. How many artists? Is that one with just 2?
1, 2.
Buckle My Shoe.
Technically 4, because there's 2 in the same show. So it's going to be 4. 4 bands.
1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. 3, 4, Shut the Door. Peek at the Purple brought to you by Affordable Electric. If you have storm damage, lightning strikes, they can damage service masts. You can experience power surges. If you've had serious electrical damage, don't ignore it. Affordable Electric provides safe, code-compliant storm damage repairs across the Twin Cities. 612-331-VOLT. 612-331-VOLT or affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. And I've told you once. I've told you a couple 13, 14 times. I'm actually, can you tell that I'm actually trying to tap dance and I just lost the button bar? Hold on, I'll find it here. Affordable Electric, you know what they are, Tennessee? They are Shockingly affordable. Sorry about that. I should have prepared for that. Want to thank Michael Rand Ball, Fish Wrap Factory West Side. He helps with Peek at the Purple today. He's talked with Brad Childress recently, former Vikings head coach, talking about the quarterback situation in Minnesota, going back to when he said after they lost a game, the Vikings and Childress to Andy Reid. Andy Reid said, "You got a really good team. If you get a quarterback, you get that thing figured out, you'll have a really great team." And lo and behold, they did. They got Brett Favre. They went 12-4. 12 men in the huddle, ball across the body, end of story. But they were there. Here's what Childress says about having a guy like Wentz in the room. He says, you can't underestimate that from a leadership standpoint. I know Carson Wentz is in that room. He's been in a number of different systems. It just depends on how giving everybody is. You hope there's a camaraderie in the room and that there's not a divide. And remember, that was part of the question we had earlier.
Yeah.
When Kyler was talking about, so far, JJ's been a willing, and I'm paraphrasing, but hey, yeah, it's great. I'm going to teach him stuff. I'm going to be a mentor. And then, of course, they talked to JJ. Said it's like we're on the opposite sides of the room, just like we're in a class, just absorbing stuff. So it didn't really sound like there was much camaraderie there. And then the reasons we talked about was, I'm sure JJ, he's never experienced it before in his life. We talked about how he'd only lost one game in his high school and college career, won a national championship. His first game he ever played as a pro that he started, the fourth quarter, he was brilliant. It was so good, despite the awful first three quarters. He won himself NFC Offensive Player of the Week, and then from there it's pretty much, he's had moments, but the moments have been mostly a negative rather than positive. Here's what else he says. Childress, like most of us, known as McCarthy, tended to get overwhelmed at times in 2025. Frenetic is the word Childress used. Murray, he said, has plenty of arm strength. He'll help the Vikings with his ability to extend plays. The real challenge for both quarterbacks, in his estimation, is being able to trust that plays will develop. Here's what he said. I think the biggest question for both of those guys will be, can you stand in the pocket? Can you make it last? Can you stand in the pocket and look at it? And are you able to be an anticipatory thrower? You can't wait till you see the whites of a guy's eyes. A lot of times you've got to anticipate and stick it in a spot over a linebacker in front of a defensive back and let him run into that throw. And that's quarterbacking 101 in the National Football League. The level of football from peewees, squirts, bantams, mites, Pop Warner, Howard Pulley, high school, college football, it gets more difficult and more difficult. The game gets faster and faster and faster, and especially at the NFL level. Exactly what he said. I mean, that's what they remember. McCarthy was having some problems with that. Remember when JJ, when he first caught some passes from Murray, he talked about that. I'm remembering this correctly, all right? Didn't he say something? Yeah, you make your turn and the ball's right there. Mm-hmm. That's what Childress is talking. That's what to me, that is for me. It's the one thing. If you're going to idolize and pedestalize and be in shock and awe of quarterbacks, for me, it's the ability to drop back, guys coming at you, and you know where every receiver is supposed to be in that play. You know where the tight end is supposed to be, your safety valve, we used to call them with the running back, if that is indeed what the running back's doing. You have your wide, maybe your third, your slot receiver, and you know what they're running. And if you're going to Jefferson, you know where he's supposed to be, and you're putting the ball right there. And there might be nobody there at the time, but he's going to get to the ball. And to throw it in those tight spaces, it is mighty impressive. And I mean, Childress is spot on. That's what you have to be able to do. You've got to anticipate where they're going to be and trust the receiver is going to be. Then you got to trust your protection.
That's a whole other question.
That's a whole other question, and that leads back to...
Well, especially here in Minnesota, because historically, KOC, he likes those plays developing down the field. Yeah. I mean, when I think of Justin Jefferson, like quintessential receptions, it's 20 yards crossing the field. And those take time to develop. So, one, you got to have an offensive line that is giving you enough time, and two, you got to have a quarterback who's willing to stick in there.
And that's why, while quarterback is tend to be... you can use this next time you do the 10 for shoulder. You might want to write this down.
Okay.
Quarterback's the most important position in all of sports.
Oh, I never thought of that.
And as important as it is, maybe that's like 1A, 1B would be left tackle for a right-handed quarterback, right? Because if you, like you said, if you can't trust the protection and the guy's got, he doesn't have time to throw. Guy's right on top of him. Then he's moving it. Well, then the patterns break down. And then it's just, it's a fire drill out there at that point, right? You don't know what it's like. You don't know. So if you get the protection and the time and got a guy that can spin it, man, you can win a lot.
Now, part of Kyler's strength is he should be able to fire drill it every once in a while.
That's it. That's correct. That's what you do want in a quarterback. That's why I loved RG3 so much. And I still think RG3 would have turned out to be, maybe not, I'm not going to say the best quarterback of all time, but remember when Shanahan played him with a bad knee. And I think that helped lead to a shortening his career. RG3 was brilliant early.
Yes, he was.
And then all of a sudden he kind of got ground down a little bit. And I think they played him when his knee was kind of mush. And it just didn't work for him. Of course, I also thought Brock Osweiler was the answer at quarterback. And then there was a time where I ranked the top 3 quarterbacks in football. RG3, Brock Osweiler, and Jay Cutler. Those are the top 3.
Felt like you had Eli out there every once in a while, too.
Cutler could spin it. I actually liked Cutler.
Pure arm talent. Yeah. He was as good as anyone.
Yeah, he was so good, but he
just, part of playing football is you have to care.
yeah, and he pouted a lot. And the best part was when he told one of his, I think he told one of his, I wish I could remember the exact quote. He was talking about one of his offensive linemen. He goes, I can't remember how he said, but he's like, can you block for me? I'm not out here just for, fun. I mean, I need time to throw. What are you doing? So we have to get in the guy's face once. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Training camp, you said, I think starts August 1. It's going to be interesting. That's for sure. There'll be plenty of the eyes will be focused on McCarthy and Murray. That's the lead for sure. A peek at the purple brought to you by Affordable Electric. We talked about storm damage. You also have surge protection because power surges, nearby storms can ruin appliances, electronics, and even your electrical panel. Protect your home with a professionally installed whole home surge protector from Affordable Electric. 612-331-VOLT. Serving the Twin Cities. Affordable-electric.com. Shockingly affordable. Back with more after this here in the Common Man program on the Fan.
The Common Man.
I don't mind humor. I don't mind an avant-garde broadcast. I don't even mind a broadcast that doesn't pay all that much attention.
Oh, wait. How am I going to do this song? Oh. Can you swap out the vibe for the next one? Can you trade them, or aren't we allowed to?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. And I'm going to write down some songs. Sorry about that.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
And many of the listeners have done just that, Tennedy. Greg Harrington. Guy Green and Greg Harrington did sports work. Guy Green, I think he ran for mayor of either Brainerd or Pequot Lakes. He got out of the radio business and he ended up in the Brainerd Lakes area. And the Classic at Madden's, they provide caddies. And he was caddying there for a while. He caddied for me one time. It was just great to recant all the old tales and such like that. But he did impressions too. But, they were the old school ones because we were old. He would do like Richard Nixon. I am not a crook. But yeah, they were the first real kind of personality. I shouldn't say the first personality sports show. Royce and Suchere they did a show on KSTP like once a week, Monday Sports Talkers. I don't know what it was called. Maybe it was called Rosen Sports Sunday. That's what it was called. And they did that, but that was.
I'm going to say something controversial here.
Well,
maybe you don't want to start this at 12:36 today. Okay. Pequot Lakes Water Tower, best in Minnesota.
Best ever. Well, did you know there was a debate about it?
Really?
Well, it's a bobber.
Yes.
They were thinking of changing it to a golf ball. I'm not making that up. There was a debate. Should we change it to a golf ball? Because golf is big up there, too, sure. Right? You have, Deacon's Lodge. You have Preserve. You have the Pines. You have all the Legacy, Craig is a legacy course. There's so much golf up there. They were actually thinking, and they stayed with the bobber.
It looks cool.
And it does look cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what the local businesses think. They now have a bypass. You used to have to go through Pequot Lakes. I wonder how many people just passing through Pequot Lakes stopped and shopped or ate or gassed up there.
I bet it happened to do
Yeah, I bet it was. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's controversial. Why did you bring it up? Now
they paved Paradise and put up a parking lot?
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. And then I'm told, Teneby, Josh Green. That was the other character that was in the news conference today. I was wondering who he was. It was Josh Green, who came over in the trade. He came alive. He was an afterthought, obviously. I feel bad. If I would have, how many people have you said, how did Josh Green become a Minnesota Timberwolf? How many people would go, well, he came over in the LaMelo Ball trade? I would have said, I don't know. They picked him up on waivers. He was a free agent. They drafted him in the last draft in the fourth round, even though they only have 2 rounds. But he came over in that trade. He started.
And his name has kept being thrown out there in trades for the Wolves because he's got I don't know if you call it like the mid-level exception or whatever, some sort of dollar amount you can save by getting rid of his contract. So,
he played. I think he played at Arizona. Started with the Mavericks, and went to the Hornets, and then was traded along with LaMelo Ball to the Timberwolves. Played on the Aussie national team. Again, the numbers are, he's, I'm really not trying to disrespect him in any way, shape, or form, but it seems that, last year we averaged something like 4.3 points a game, something like 1.8 rebounds, a 0.8 assists. His field goal percentage was 45.9, but when you're only shooting twice a game, I guess you're going to get that. So again, just a piece in the trade. Another one says, sounds like God is LaMelo's fall guy. When he doesn't know what to say, he just says, glory to God. Glory to God. Glory to God. Now, tell me, why did you do this? Says, there's no way the Pequot Lakes water tower is better than the Sauk Rapids one.
Oh, that one's like the worst in the state.
Yeah, Sauk Rapids looks like a hot air balloon. No,
yeah.
I think that's what it's supposed to be, isn't it? It's supposed to be a hot air balloon.
It might be the worst water tower in the state.
This one says, Freeport, Minnesota has the best water tower in the state. Makes you so happy. Can you Google Freeport and see if they have a picture of it? What is it?
It's kind of like an older school looking water tower, right? It's not like your typical sphere-shaped one.
Okay.
It's more of like a cylinder. It looks like a little hat on top of it.
Yeah, really old, right? Yeah.
And it just says Freeport and has a smiley face under it, just in black.
I think I have seen that one.
Yeah, it looks nice.
That's on your way up Highway 10 if you're going to Fargo.
I would still take the bobber.
I kind of like the bobber too.
Yeah.
Here's a let's fill more time with Cutler. Hold on, chatter. Do you recall that he retired from football, got hired by Fox to be an analyst, and came out of retirement to play a year in Miami when their quarterback got hurt? He never got another broadcasting job. Subsequently, he got divorced in a DUI. I didn't know all that, I guess. I kind of lost track of him after he left the Chicago Bears. Egan's water towers look like giant marshmallows sitting on the ground. Then someone else says, I thought it was supposed to be hot air balloon. It's supposed to be a rocket. The one in Sauk looks like a hot air balloon to me. Then someone
Whatever
says,
it is, it looks like it was made in the 1970s and hasn't been updated.
But here's another one, and this is true. Lindstrom, not close. Lindstrom's is a tea kettle. Look up Lindstrom's water tower, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a
coffee pot.
Something you get at a cafe.
Yeah, exactly. Then someone else
Why don't cities spice up their water towers a little bit? It's like a form of art to welcome people to your city.
I think it is. Stillwater should just look like a prison. It should just be like a cell block, like a jail cell. Somebody says, what about Randolph, Minnesota? Well, what's Randolph? Randolph? I've been by Randolph. You know why I've been to so many? I know Minnesota really well because I go play golf and I just know how to get to golf courses, and that's why I've gone by a lot of these places. Where the hell is Randolph, though? Does it have a picture of Randolph's?
Well, some of these have like multiple different.
And this one says there's no way it's better than the Libby's Corn Can Water Tower in Rochester. Oh, Rochester. Here's one that says Rochester has an ear of corn for there.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good.
Then this one says nothing beats the Washburn Water Tower. Well, what's the Washburn? I didn't realize there were this many creative water towers, though, either.
No, I didn't either.
You know, most of them are just, especially for the bigger suburbs, it's just that big mushroom-looking thing, right? That's filled with hundreds of millions of gallons of water. This one says...
I mean, Washburn's doesn't even look like a water tower. It looks like almost like a cathedral.
Someone says Cosmos has a great one. Is there a town named Cosmos?
I don't even know what Cosmos is.
I know that was the name of a Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, Cosmos looks cool.
Does it look like a...
On the bottom of it, it looks like space. It's got like a rocket ship and some planets.
I know that Creedence Clearwater Revival, they had an album called Cosmos Factory, I think, but that's the only thing I know. Can we get a Minnesota water tower, Brett? Get Charch on to break down the seating and kill a few segments.
I always love that one.
This one says, St. Louis Park once misspelled Lewis. That was priceless. So on their water tower...
Did they do like L-E-W?
I don't know.
I-S?
He says they had it spelled wrong. This one says, Brainerd has a castle for a water tower. No, that's not. Is that? See, now, I just drove by today, this weekend. When I leave Tee to Green, I go through Brainerd, and then I go to Sue's Drive-In in Pierce. I found out that Sue's in assisted living now, which makes me sad. What were we just talking about? I'm sorry.
Brainerd's looks like a castle.
Is that what is like a chess playing piece? The Rook,
yeah, it almost like
right?
a Rook. Yeah,
I didn't know that was a water tower because I noticed there's a building to it. Somebody owns. I don't know if it's a law firm or somebody actually. Their business is housed. Maybe it's a swimming pool company. That would only seem to make sense. But it's. I didn't know that was a water tower. I had no idea.
It's referred to as the Paul Bunyan's Cup by local residents, or Paul Bunyan's flashlight.
This one says, love the water tower talk. This is the best segment KFAN has had in a long time. And Tenneby, you inspired it.
I knew it was going to be controversial. I apologize for dividing the state today.
It says Shakapee's is a lacrosse ball. Is it really?
A lacrosse ball?
It's a carpeting and flooring company. No, you're not thinking of the carpet and flooring company. That's on 371. That's the one that has the castle looking thing. That's not the water tower. The water tower is downtown. This one says check out Nevis or Nevis. Nevis. Do they have one for Nevis? I don't know if it's pronounced Nevis or Nevis. N-E-V or...
Yeah, it's kind of got like a... It says the letter, but kind of like in like a font that you would associate with dinosaurs, and then it has it almost looks like a... I can only see the side of it, like a T-Rex or dinosaur of some sort.
You think that's controversial? How did the Triceratops dinosaur move from just outside of Elk River at the gas station. When you ever see the Triceratops? When you're coming back from Brainerd, you go through Elk River. There's a Triceratops painted red. It's a statue of a Triceratops. He's now back up by Big Lake.
Ooh.
How did he get there? Because it's not a real dinosaur unless it is alive. Oh my gosh. Or was it dino napped? Somebody has to back me up on this. I noticed the strangest things because I loved the dinosaur. It was a Triceratops painted red, and it was right by the gas station when you drove by on your right coming back into town. Now I noticed it's up by Big Lake on the left side of the road. And it's both of them are outside of a gas station. I don't know if the gas stations are owned by the same people and they just decided it was time to move the dinosaur to another area. It's different. I've seen it. It stunned me the first time I saw it. At first you did the old, you know how you'll see on those cartoons when somebody can't believe what they see and you take your fingers and you rub them in your eyes like this, right? Then you look. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. Oaks, North Dakota has a water tower, glossy black with a bright orange school crest. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, it's like all black.
Okay. This one says the gas station has moved to Big Lake and the one in Elk River switched companies. So they did move it. Think about this. They probably sold it and said, but the dinosaur's coming with us. They took the dinosaur with them, so somebody did have an explanation for me. And it is pronounced Nevis. Buell, Minnesota has a cool water tower. B-U-H-L. Buell. What is it?
It's kind of like one of those old school ones again, the silver kind of cylinder shape.
Yeah.
And just in black lettering, it says Buell, finest water in America. And it's got like a red hat on top of it.
This one says, check out Olivia, Minnesota. I'm getting to the bottom of the dinosaur thing, too. Ralphie's has the gas station in Elk River. Due to Quick Trip coming in across the highway, sold the Elk River one and bought the Big Lake location, and they brought the dinosaur with them. They had to put that thing on a flatbed because I don't think it's life-size Triceratops. I don't know how big a Triceratops got. But there was this Triceratops dinosaur there. Yeah, one of those things, I guess, that's just there to attract your attention. Pops out at you. So that's what's happened there. Now I finally got to the bottom of it. Because I thought maybe it was one of those pranks. This one says, Channel 5 is a water tower segment. It does
They do not. Well, I guess we're doing it.
It says, this is what it says. It says, Channel 5 has a water tower segment Wednesdays on Minnesota Live in the morning show. Well,
I always love
how
that
many
one.
there are hundreds of millions of water towers across the world. I can see why you can do it.
Yeah. We're late to the party on this, then.
This one says, Chaska's water tower is undoubtedly the coolest one in Minnesota.
Chaska or Alaska?
It says, well, that's a good question. It says Chaska. This one says, check out Perham's water tower, black and yellow for the Yellow Jackets. I've seen that. That's for their that one
looks cool.
It's really cool. The Perham one is really sweet. Now we're branching out to other parts of the country. Collinsville, Illinois has the largest bottle of ketchup water tower. So it's
just looks like a bottle of ketchup.
Then there's this one. Nimrod, Minnesota, has a mural of meat sauce. Hold on. Nimrod has a mural of meat sauce. Spot on comment. Maybe only regular show fans notice stuff like the Triceratops change. Speaking of regular show, what's up with Lost Tapes? I've watched it. It's good. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. It's basically, if you watch the Lost Tapes, episodes of the regular show, the new ones. Now you know why J.G. Quintel, he's the creator of it. After 8 seasons, he gave up, tried to do something else, didn't work, went back to the well. The well done run dry, speaking of water wells. Speaking of water towers, it run dry. But it's still okay if you like it. This one says, the water tower segment's the type of content that makes me love the Common Man Show, Radio Perfection. Tend to be, and I have you to thank for it. I never would have went that direction. I would have done Triceratops Radio and how many dinosaur statues are there across
I bet there's lots of dinosaur statues.
Yeah. Now this one says, he said, again, some people are joining late. So he says, not close. Lindstrom, Minnesota teapot steams out of the spout. My brother-in-law, Jason, installed the machine that produces the steam that comes out of the teapot in the Lindstrom, Minnesota water tower twice a day. I didn't know that. So twice a day, was it at noon and midnight? Steam comes out of the water tower. That's what it says.
Brilliant!
This one says there's a statue of a dinosaur outside my neighbor's house in Shakopee. Perhaps this goes deeper than we thought. I've been waiting for this segment my entire life. I cannot turn this off. I will listen to this podcast 100 times. Thanks, man.
I always love that one.
You can do a lazy list radio of the top 150 water towers in the United States. Yeah. Then this one says, driving by the Plymouth Water Tower off of County 6 and 494, they need to try harder. Some of them don't even do it. Woodbury doesn't do it.
Yeah, a lot of them, they're just very plain.
They're just plain. They just say...
They're bland.
They're blanded. We have way more to worry about, I think they're thinking. Where does Nimrod have a wall big enough to fit Meat Sauce's head for your mural? Well, there's that. Eau Claire is a huge Babe the Blue Ox and Paul Bunyan statues. Well, yeah, and they shouldn't. Why do they have that? He's from Brainerd. Or is it Bemidji? He's from somewhere up there, and so is Babe. Why would Eau Claire have that?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
If Chernoff and the family are in the Winnebago right now, you have the Marconi line. That's an old school callback. We'll break. We'll come back. 5:34, top of the hour. Tenna, you have a tease for us?
It's time for the mid-season awards.
The Common Man.
Like, it's a show where you hate everyone and question everybody's morals and ethics.
Weekdays at noon on The Fan.
From the 1-800